وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. آمين. As Muslims, we should be people of inspiration. We should be people of inspiration where people look at us, they see our behaviors, our mannerisms, our conduct, and they want to be like us. Whether it's Muslims, non-Muslims, our spouses, our children, but we should be people of inspiration. And subhanAllah, sometimes we get into a bubble and we forget that actually it's my responsibility and my duty to inspire others. As a father, as a husband, as a wife, as a child, it's my responsibility. And with the month of Ramadan coming up, and we mentioned previously about the rights of the Quran, and one thing we as parents can be, for those of us that are parents, are inspiration for our children. We can be the biggest motivation for our children and our spouses. And I want to help us understand the virtue of our connection with the Quran. That if we connect with the Quran, if we read the Quran, simply just look at its words and read it, what is the reward, what is the ajr that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has waiting for us. And when we understand this, then we can reflect it with ourselves and we can tell our children that this is what you will get. The more Quran, the more you will connect with the Quran, this is what you will receive, and it will motivate you yourself, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. And I want to share with you a few rules. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, من قرأ حرفا في كتاب الله فله حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها لا أقول ألف لام ميم حرف ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. Whoever recites one letter from the Quran, for him is a hasana, or for her is a hasana. And a hasana is multiplied by 10. The Prophet ﷺ says, لا أقول ألف لام ميم حرف. I don't say that ألف لام ميم is a harf, but I say ألف is a harf. ألف لام فاء ألف لام ألف ميم ألف لام ميم حرف ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. So within ألف لام ميم you're getting 90 rewards. In another hadith, the Prophet of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم says, يقال لصاحب القرآن اقرأ وارتقي ورتل كما كنت ترتل في الدنيا فإن منزلتك عند آخر آية تقرأها. Allah will summon us on the day of judgment and He will say, read, ascend and recite the way you would recite in the world. Your place in Jannah is at the last verse that you conclude. And so this is something that we should motivate us. That the more we connect and we simply read the Quran, we create a bond with the Quran, the greater our status will be. And the Quran, it won't be a chore for us. You know, sometimes when we pick up the Quran, sometimes it's like, okay, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm tired. But if you were to switch on Netflix, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. But when we have that relationship with the Quran, through the halawah of the Quran, you could read the Quran for hours on end. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, when he would stand in Qiyam, Isha radiallahu anha, she would say that, حَتَّى تَوَضَّتْ قَدَمَاهُ. He was able to stand in Qiyam for so long that his feet would swell. Imagine how many hours on end that was. And so that comes with practice, and that comes with building that connection. Building, and this is an inspiration for you and I. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those people that are inspirational to our husbands, to our wives, to our children, to those around us when it comes to matters of the deen, when it comes to the religion, that we can and set a good example for others. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our efforts. Subhanallah wa bihamdih. نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.